Hello, welcome back to my channel. It's January, the year has just started, and in the past I have made videos where I talk about my goals for the year and like things I want to knit throughout the year, and I want to scale it back this year because oftentimes I find things on Ravelry patterns usually, and I make a long list and I'm like, I'm going to make these this year. Then I see other things I want to make, or I forget about those things, or I just change my mind entirely, or maybe I see yarn in a store that's more inspiring than the pattern. So I want to scale it back this year. I go month by month. Starting with January, I really want to finish some of my whips. I have some whips that have been on my needles for more than 6 months. I'm still into the projects. I just like have not been able to finish them. So I want to finish my whips. I also want to start 1, maybe 2 projects, but only if I can finish my whips. So they might have to be pushed to February, but I do already have the materials for them, so they are kind of a solid idea in my head that I've been thinking about for a while, so I will get into those. I also have 2 sewing projects to share. I've been getting back into sewing recently since I moved, actually, because I have a little bit more space now and I have a little working table where I can put my sewing machine. So I have been sewing a little bit. I'm just gonna get into it. I'm gonna start with my whips, and I did show a couple of these during my 25 Days of Sockmas video series. Also, I'm sorry I didn't upload on the last day. I was making those videos in real time because I ran into some issues with my behind the scenes tech, and so I kind of got off schedule and ended up making those videos every day and uploading them on the same day. And by the time I got to Christmas and like going to see my family, going to see my boyfriend's family, trying to make a Bush de Noel cake for Christmas, I was just like so burnt out that I even had the footage, just like was so tired, and I'm sorry, and I felt like I was being really repetitive, sharing the same things. You saw what I made, that was what I ended up making. I gave them all away for Christmas, and yeah, that was it. I'm already thinking about next year and how I can do it better. Hopefully next year will be even better and we'll get 25 out of 25 instead of 23 out of 25 videos. Starting with the whips that I shared a couple videos ago. I think it was like day 11 of Sockmas. I forget, but I shared some of my sweater projects. I had started the cloud sweater by Petite Knit. I actually started this around Thanksgiving. I just wanted a new project to work on around Thanksgiving. This is it. This is the front and the back. Body, front body, back body. I'm almost done with the length. And then I think I'll do the hem. I forget what's next in the pattern, but I'm assuming then you do the little rib hem. Then you do the sleeves, maybe the neck. This is a really easy stockinette project. I'm looking forward to getting back to it. Maybe I'll do that after I finish this video. And I'm making it entirely out of scrap yarn, or it's not really scrap yarn, but I'm making it out of like odds and end balls that I had in my stash. And I do talk about this in the other video, but if you didn't watch that video, a couple months ago I was selling my yarn in a de-stash sale, so it was all like my stash yarn that I didn't think I wanted anymore. And I have a lot of yarn, so I'm often trying to downsize, but I didn't sell very much. I don't know if anyone at the market sold very much. It was still really fun to participate, but after that I had all of my stash yarn organized, so I grabbed all the pink balls that I had. And I just decided that that would be like my color palette for this sweater. So that's why it looks like this. And I'm trying to keep it super chill and I'm just like randomly picking balls. I'm trying not to think about it too much. I did, of course, start to think about it too much like very soon into the project when I knit the back. I knit the back and I like liked what was happening here, and so then I like tried to do it again on the front. When I don't think about it, I end up liking it more. So I'm trying to relax and just like randomly pick balls and not think about the color pattern, the stripes, how many rows are in each stripe too much, so I can just have fun with it. The other whip that I talked about in that video is sweater number 29 by My Favorite Things Knitwear. I'm using this funky Malabrigo yarn that I got from someone's de-stash donation. I worked at a yarn store for a little while, and someone brought in this like big bag of yarn that they didn't, or it was basically a big bag of their stash yarn that they didn't want anymore, and it had like 10 balls of this Malabrigo worsted yarn. I'm forgetting the color, but I'll put it in the description because I do have a couple that still have the tags. They brought in like a bunch of these that were never wound. The yarn shop owner said, you can have them. So I took them because it was more than a sweater quantity, which is always exciting to have a sweater quantity of yarn. So I did the whole body and I did the neck. And then this morning, sorry, my needles keep hitting this enamel table. This morning, I did the short rows for the sleeve and I was a little confused. I did it like twice because it like makes sense that your short rows would build up the underarm, but it was also like going into this little piece, this saddle piece here, this. So now I have like 2 cables here that could be ready to be twisted, and one is like was like barely worked at all. So now the instructions are telling me that it's time to twist all of these, and I'm like, I think it might look weird, but it is on the back side where that one cable is going to be like super twisted because it didn't get enough knit stitches in between. But I don't know, I don't really want to do it again because it can't be like, I kind of triple checked and like I think I did it right, and it makes sense that like most of the work would be at the underarm for short rows, but I don't know, it just like seemed like a little off. But I don't think I've knit a pattern by my favorite things knitwear before. I bought one of the cardigan patterns last year, but I didn't ever make it because I wanted to make it for my boyfriend, but I was confused about the sizing. I might just go for it and continue, and hopefully it looks okay. I'm having fun with this though. Like once you get into the cable pattern, it's really simple. It's just a lot of like knitting, which is fun. My next whip is going to look familiar. I started it a really long time ago. I started it like last summer, I think. I'm so close to being done, and this is what happened. I got to the cuff and I didn't want to knit it. I just like didn't feel like knitting the cuff, and I put it in a box and I didn't take it out of the box for like 6 months. And here we are, this is my wave sweater. I added an extra row of the wave, so normally it would have 3 and mine has 4. I initially did that because I wanted it to be longer, but I might go back and remove that last row if it ends up being too long, which I will decide after I finish the cuff, which is the last thing that I have to do. Look, literally like, I don't know, 15 rows and then the sweater is done because I already did the other one. I should really just do this today and not that other stuff, because then I could wear this. I've had many days where I've thought, what should I wear? And then I'm like, oh, I could wear the wave sweater. I could just like finish it real quick. But no, I have not picked it up. I have not finished it. And I made my wave sweater with Plymouth Ariado yarn in black and whatever the light gray color is. I really like that yarn. I think it's super soft and I like working with it. It's kind of like a worsted, I think it's like DK or worsted weight. Those are my only 3 whips that I'm thinking about right now. I'm sure I have others lost in my stash, but those are the only ones I'm thinking about right now. As far as other projects that I want to start this month, maybe finish, but definitely start. I recently bought this yarn, and I got this from the Black Squirrel in Berkeley. It's from Full Belly Farm, which is a Northern California based farm. It's 100% wool. It's undyed, so it's like the color of the wool when it came off of the sheep. And I have been looking for a yarn like this for a while. So once I saw that Black Squirrel had it, I just went for it and I bought 4. These are 250 yards each, so I'm hoping that's enough to make a sweater. And I would love to start knitting a sweater with this yarn in the month of January because I really want to make a sweater that looks like a Baba sweater, like everyone else. And I think this would be great for it because it's worsted weight and it's 100% wool. It's a beautiful neutral color, so Baba. I was so excited when I found this. They had a couple other local farms too, local to California farms that had some undyed wool, but I really liked this one for the weight and the color, and it had pretty good yardage, 250 yards for one skein, and I think it was about $20. Stay tuned for that video. I will definitely be making a kind of a, not really a tutorial, but probably like a how I made this video with instructions on how you can make one too, because I definitely want to make a Baba sweater, and I think a lot of people do as well. And part of me wanted to buy a Baba sweater, but it's hard. It's hard to buy things like that when I know how to knit and I have no problem spending a couple weeks knitting myself a sweater. But if you have the means and you really like Baba, they look like amazing sweaters. I know a couple people who have them and they also look really amazing on, so I think it's probably worth the money. Another project I would like to start in January that I've been thinking about for many, many months, I'm thinking a second cloud sweater, and really my plan, it revolves around the yarn that I have. So I'm thinking like maybe the cloud sweater would be a good base for it. But I have all of these mohair balls that I got from Avenue Yarns. They're actually like Surrey, I think it's Surrey alpaca and mohair, and it's super soft. I've just been holding on to them for like 3 years now, and I have all of these amazing, oh my god. Let's see if I can lift them all in my hands. I have these amazing colors. Oh, I have pink too. These are the amazing colors I have. Pink, brown, sliding out of my hand, blue, red, yellow, and gray. And a couple years ago I started freehanding this raglan sweater. So then after the gray I would have done red, and then I would have started the color pattern over again. And this color pattern was based on an Acne Studios sweater that I saw. But I made mine raglan, and I don't know that I loved the raglan. So I've been trying to find like a really simple body to just make this again in. And I thought the cloud sweater could be good because I think the gauge is similar to the gauge that I had when I knit this. And then I could just hold these single, I wouldn't have to double them, and I definitely don't have enough to knit a sweater if I were to double them. I'm hoping I can do this month or maybe next month, because I have just been like dying to use this yarn, and I've really been saving it. Like oftentimes I'll save yarn, and then like if I need a piece of scrap yarn, or if it's just like the right color for a scrappy project like my other cloud sweater, I'll just like grab it and use it. But these are all the same yarn, and I've just been saving all of them. I never reach for them to like use for scrappy projects, so I really want to make a sweater with them. Those are my only two plans for the month. I also wanted to show these buttons that I got. I got these after Christmas from a vintage store, and okay, as soon as I bought them, I like put them in a bag, like the shopping bag that I got them in, and I had a little cappuccino, and it was raining outside, and I got some coffee on it, so there's like a big coffee drip on the card. But these are vintage abalone buttons, and I paid like $18 for them, which I thought was kind of expensive, but I just love that they actually look like shells. You can kind of see that they're like an irregular shape on the bottom and the sides, and I thought they were really beautiful. So I'm hoping I can use them on a cardigan soon. I also want to do a sewing project this month, so I just completed one today that I'm going to show you, but I just purchased the pattern for the Henrietta Skirt by Spaghetti Western Sewing, and it looks pretty simple, and I really want to make that this month. I was hoping I could make it like during my winter break, but I ended up making this other thing, which took a lot more time. This Henrietta skirt is part of my January crafting goals. I've been wanting like a midi maxi length skirt for a while in gingham. I had been like looking on eBay, I found a couple, but it's just like so hard for me to commit to buying things that aren't like craft things. So I haven't bought anything. And then I saw the pattern on their Instagram, and I thought it was so cute, and it just looked like the perfect pattern to make a skirt. I'm really excited to do another sewing project. I kind of love sewing. I also recently completed 2 sewing projects. I definitely completed one. The other was more of an alteration. I thrifted these pants. I think they're some kind of like army surplus pants. They're made in Korea, and the print is this crazy leopard print. I put them on to show you. that's the print. I think there's some kind of army surplus pants, and they were just a really cool print to me. I really just wanted them because they were like a neutral animal print. I guess animal print's normally neutral, but I liked that they were gray and black. And they were really, really big for me. They were way too big, so I just took a lot of fabric from the side here, either side. Took about 3 inches off of either side, and then I changed the channel. So it has these 2 channels on the sides so I can adjust them. So I didn't really make them, I just made them fit me. And I did it in a really, really basic way. They never had elastic or a zipper or a button or anything. They just had these draw cords. And it was done a little bit differently. When I first bought them, it was like, it still came out on the sides, but it kind of like overlapped. I don't know, it was a little confusing to me. I ended up cutting it in half, and so now I have one draw cord that controls the front of the pants and one that controls the back of the pants, and then I tie them on the sides. So more of an alteration. I did complete one sewing project though. I did the Rue Jacket, also by Spaghetti Western Sewing, and I made it over the past like 4 days of like obsessively working on it because I really wanted to finish it before I went back to work, just because I was afraid that if I didn't, I wouldn't pick it up again for like 3 months. It's a quilted jacket with bias bound seams. I wanted to make it because I wanted a style of jacket like this, kind of a liner style, for a while, and I didn't find one online that I wanted. So when I saw the pattern, I was really excited to make one for myself, and I didn't really have a plan with the fabric. I ended up just finding this at Stone Mountain and Daughter in Berkeley, California, and just like being inspired by the fabric, really. So it's a gingham print with strawberry outlines. It has 2 bow closures here, and I think I'll add a snap in the middle just to help it kind of stay closed, because currently it just has these bows as the closure. Oops, I have a thread I need to trim. Yeah, so I think if it had a little snap right here to kind of keep it closed, it would be even better. And they do recommend, or they don't recommend, but they do give you instructions on how to do the bows and also like snaps and buttons and stuff. So I think a snap would definitely help. It would kind of like overlap like this. Maybe I could like pull it in. And then I added this crazy ruffle around the collar. It's not really looking very much like a ruffle in the camera right now. I don't know what you're seeing, but it just kind of looks like a big uneven hem. That's fine. It was my first like real sewing project in a while, actually since Halloween, because I did make a Halloween costume this year. And I've just been like so bad about social media recently that I never posted a picture of it, so I'll post it right here so you can see my Halloween costume. That was my last sewing project. I made the clown suit and it was really fun. I'll probably wear it again next year since I didn't document it this year. I had a lot of fun making this. It did take a really long time because I chose the self-quilted method, which was basically making your own fabric. I bought the gingham fabric and then I picked out this blue fabric, and I got 100% wool batting for the interior fluff. I quilted the whole thing together, which took a really long time to, you can barely even see the quilt lines, but I just did squares. There's any squares. It was fun. It was fun, but it was a lot of cutting, a lot of quilting, and a lot of bias tape. Everything is covered. Every seam is covered in bias tape. It was fun though. It was really fun. Let me know what you think of this jacket. It's probably gonna be pretty warm since I chose the wool batting instead of polyester. At least I'm hoping it'll be warm. That's what I've been up to and what I'm hoping to get up to in the month of January. I'm also going to do a tutorial on how to make the scrappy houndstooth socks. So stay tuned for that in the next week or two. I'm just gonna do a pretty simple tutorial on how to do it. I'll recommend some patterns that you can kind of tweak to do the houndstooth pattern with, and then some different sizes of the houndstooth chart that you can use depending on your own foot size. So stay tuned for that. And please let me know in the comments what you would like to see from my channel this year. I'm hoping to do more chatty videos like this, but I would also love to do some tutorials. I don't know what kind of tutorials yet, but I'm happy to share my knowledge because I have a bit of knowledge. So let me know what you want to see from my channel this year. And thank you all so much for the support during my sock videos. And don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps me out when you subscribe. I will see you very soon. Bye!